Welcome to the show, everyone, and happy Halloween. My first guest has been on with me several times. I have with me David Kleimach, and he's the owner of Perfect Pools of Arizona. And, you know, I gotta welcome you. There's some of the things that you want to talk a little bit about today that we're going to talk about, some of the things that are sorry that people have to call you about. But I want you to first tell everybody a little bit about you and what makes you different, but a little bit about the pool that you're working on right now. You got to hear this story, everybody. It's pretty cool. We're live on Facebook, so hi to everybody out there. Like us and follow us. We'll share the show later on.
Well, a little bit about me. It's what makes us different is that it's the personal attention. I'm there from the first day until the project is completed, and I'm available by text 7 days a week.
Okay.
So the customer's not left hanging. If they have a question, they can call, they can text.
Let's talk a little bit about this project that you're working on right now. Let me tell you something, folks. If you're thinking about a pool and you want something different, this is really different.
This is way different. It took 2 years of research to get to the point where we could actually break ground. Lady wanted a fish pond. So you can't have any type of chemicals in there or it's going to kill the fish. So we needed to determine how we're going to sanitize the water. So we researched that. It involves some plants and different treatment systems. So once that was completed, I gave her the design, and then her husband said he wanted a spa. So I designed the spa to go along with it, which made the pool look small. So to make a long story short, the fish pond, the little pond, is now 14 feet long, 7 feet wide, 6 feet deep.
You forgot to tell a little bit about the story. She wanted to swim with the fish.
And she can.
Which is so cool that she
Yeah.
can. Can you imagine having that dream and being able to fulfill it? Now, that's why they call it Perfect Pools of Arizona. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about, you brought some pictures of
Right.
his this project that they're working on. And we're live on Facebook, so if you want to go ahead and put in Networking Arizona on Facebook, you can actually watch us in here doing this show live. That's what's cool about the show. I want you to talk a little bit about this particular picture. We'd have them in order.
The first picture shows when the excavation part was completed. So prior to that, we do a layout which shows the design and the shape. Then the excavator comes in and they take care of that. They'll dig out the pool with machinery and also by hand.
Okay.
The second picture, I believe, is the plumbing. So that's the order that
So
we go
that's
in.
going to be the plumbing, and then what
Right.
else happens?
Then rebar comes in.
Okay.
So that's what's going to form the structure, the skeleton
Okay.
of the pool.
And then the other one, the last one here,
That is the shotcrete. So they came in, what's today, a couple days ago, and they shot that in. It took about 6 hours to complete this pool. And now I have that young lady outside watering that concrete 5 times a day.
So let's talk a little bit about, now I know that you have to pull it up a little bit so you can see it quick, closer on Facebook, but it's very cool. Something different that you've never ever thought of that you could have with Perfect Pools of Arizona. Your dream of the exact pool that you want, basically. I mean, how many people call you up and want to, swim with the fish?
Actually, every single pool is somebody's dream. It's their wish list.
Oh, that's kind of a neat way to put that. You're right.
And that's why it needs to be done correctly.
I do want to talk about that for a second because, I've gotten to know you a little bit. And I know you don't like to talk about yourself. You're not a big talker, so I'm going to do it for you.
Thank you.
Okay? Now, as I've gotten to know you, one of the things that we were talking about today was I had heard somebody, I'm going to go right into it, okay? I had heard about somebody that had gotten ripped off. Somebody came in and they gave them, the person, a low bid. I saw it on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And they got this low bid, and the next thing the people knew is they came in and they were doing some work. Maybe they did 1 or 2 things, I don't know. And then they paid. They must have asked for some money up front, I don't know.
Right.
And then guess what? They ran with the money. And
Right.
this was just recently, I think it's right here in Gilbert. I don't know exactly where.
This unfortunately has been happening for several years. People get bids, and a lot of people go with the lowest bid. Money may be short, they might have a budget that they're working with, and instead of sitting down and finding out exactly what they're getting and what it costs, They go with the low bid. Most of the time, those people are not licensed, but because they bid so low, they never have enough money to finish the pool. So 90% of the ones that we get called on to finish up, they've actually dug the hole and got to the shotcrete or plumbing section, and then they take off. The problem is due to inexperience, it's done incorrectly. I came across one pool, there was no main drain. There was no source to circulate the water. Another pool, the shotcrete was already cracked. These pools have to be dug out again, and a lot of times these people do not have the money, and they're just unfortunately stuck with that hole, and it's sad.
Yeah, it is sad because you know what? Sometimes well, not sometimes. You get what you pay for. And how does somebody know? And this is, I think, as an education piece here right now. How does somebody know when you come out to bid something? Is it getting that second opinion? Is it? You explained it a little bit earlier. Like, if you get in one that's pretty close in a bid, you know that you're around the right place.
Exactly.
How many bids should people get?
Minimum of 2.
Okay.
And 3 is plenty. That way you see if they all fall within the zone.
Okay.
Take a look at the contract. How is the contract written? What does it include? Ask for samples. When we finish off a pool.
Can you give a sample of a pool? Pictures?
Oh, well, it's samples of the product.
Okay.
So in other words, the interior, the coping, the decking that you're going to use. Do the research on the equipment that we're putting in. Plumbing, it's all the same. It's made out of a PVC. But some people will use a 2-inch or 2.5-inch pipe. We use usually 3.
Now this is where you hear. This is what you hear from you. This is what I've heard time and time and time again. That you like to talk to. If you do a free consultation with people, obviously you're going to sit down. But what you have said over and over and over again is quality. For you and your pools, it's about quality because quality lasts.
Exactly.
Right.
I mean, we don't get every bid that we submit because we're going to be higher. We're not cheap, but we do a quality job. We've come across some pools designed by architects, and they're completely wrong. So we'll go in and we'll change them before we actually build it. We dug one pool, it was actually 18 feet deep. And that was inside somebody's house.
Wow,
and the
they must have
architect,
really wanted to get deep.
Yes, and that's without a diving board. So
I'm sorry, I'm laughing right now, I can't help it.
They had put 6 returns in on the upper level. Well, there's a whole other level of water. There's layers. So we must have added probably another 12 returns. Otherwise, that pool never, ever would have been operational. Wouldn't have been clean.
Well, I'll tell you something. If you're looking to get a quality pool, these are the people to call. Their phone number to call is 480-588-2200. They do free consultations. They're valley-wide, and they're licensed, bonded, and insured. Licensed, bonded, and I'm going to say it again, that's what you're looking for. You want to go up onto their website and check them out and see all the pictures of different pools that they've done. It's perfect. Pool Builders with an S.com. They also do pool and pool deck. We also want to talk a little bit about that when we get back. It's all about remodeling, but let me tell you something, folks. It's doing it the quality right way so that they last longer. That's 480-588-2200. Hang tight. We'll be back in just a minute.
That was fun.
Different.
So, yeah.
See how
nice
different?
approach.
Exactly. I
Nice
like
approach.
it personally myself better.
Yeah.
Okay?
It is
and-
those situations are so
Right,
sad.
right. And so let me just tell you, when I've said stories, that's the kind of thing, like what happened, this person, whatever they are, you can see how you can kind of do it in a different way. But I think I want to also highlight more and more on your quality, right? So is there anything else that we want to get out that I'm not getting to that you might have wanted to talk about?
No, you're doing great.
Okay.
Yeah, we did the fish pond.
Yeah, so we're gonna go into, obviously, the pool decks, that we're gonna make sure that you take care of that you do that as well.
can't think of anything really. We do conversions on pools too. We do depth conversions.
What?
There's a depth conversion. So someone
Say
will
that
buy
again.
DEPTH.
Oh, depth,
Yep.
okay.
So they'll buy a home and it has a huge pool in it. 30, 35, 40,000 gallons. It's a diving pool.
Yeah.
They don't want that.
Thank you.
A lot of water, a lot of chemicals.
Yeah, a lot of chemicals
So
and,
we can convert that to a lower level. We'll decrease the depth.
okay,
Where we have another pool, we're gonna be putting in what's called a Baja shelf. That's where you can.
yes, you
if
mentioned that
form it,
before.
Yeah.
Okay,
Put down some chaise lounges, babies can play there, old people can hang out.
okay,
You know,
okay.
older people.
I'm one of them, so.
Hey, we're both there.
Mhm.
We're on radio, they can't tell.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of anything that we've talked about too that
We got 1 minute to go.
Okay, gotcha. I'm gonna make your life easier, okay? Instead of having to come in and back and forth, all you have to do is this to me. And I got it. Been doing this a while.
Yeah, that one pool that we called back,
I'm sorry?
that one pool that we got called back on from like 8 months
Yeah,
later.
yeah.
They redid the deck in black. Can you imagine walking on that?
It's gotta be hot.
You burn your feet.
Oh my God,
Tiles were
black
falling
decking.
off. Yeah,
We gotta talk about that. That sounds
Sure.
really weird.
yeah.
Why would they do that?
Inexperience.
I like the answer. So welcome back, everyone. You know, during the break, we always get to know a little bit more about my clients, and the more I get to know them, the more they start talking. And right now, we are talking about getting your pools remodeled. Now, at the break, we're talking a little bit about conversions.
Right. There's a couple of different conversions that we do. Sometimes a person will buy a new home and it comes with a very large, deep pool. Costs a lot to maintain, a lot of chemicals, a lot of work. What we can do is decrease the depth of that pool. So instead of it being 10 or 12 feet deep, we can make that more shallow and bring it up to 6 feet.
I think that's a great idea, because I'll bet a lot of people come buy a house and they like the house, but they'll think, oh my gosh, that pool, you know, might cost a lot to run
And it does.
be upkeep. And they're gonna shy away from it, but they don't know that they can change that.
Right.
And a simple change can save them and be in the house of their dreams.
Oh yeah, save them thousands of dollars in chemicals.
Wow.
And we also add in what's called a Baja shelf. So at the either end of the pool, sometimes we've done even on the side, we'll put out a 6 or 7 foot shelf just below the water line. You can put chaise lounges out there. Babies can hang out and not have to worry about drowning in the deep water. People with disabilities can just kind of relax.
You know what I think is so important that we're talking about some of this, because when you're talking about remodeling pools and things like that, sometimes, or we're talking about starting from scratch,
Right.
you know, sometimes they don't think about these things, and that's why I like this show, is because it does give people the opportunity to hear stuff that they may not think, and maybe you know somebody that you might want to tell them about this. I love the idea of having that Baja deck, especially for the older folks, you know, and the babies, so that they won't drown, and of course, you know, and just being able to hang out there, and the disability people, you know, things with people with disabilities, oh my God,
Right.
what a great idea. The other thing that we've talked about a few times on the show is, you know, somebody had asked you did such a great job on the pool and it looked beautiful, that the decking wasn't looking so good anymore.
Right, so he asked us if we could redo his deck, which we did, and his whole backyard really looks brand new now.
I bet. Now, we also just mentioned really quickly, he said, you know, somebody did a decking recently in black.
We got called to put in a bid for a pool remodel. We put in the bid and we the gentleman said, well, I can get that done for half the price. And he did. So he called us back about 8 months later and asked us if we could fix his pool. When we got on site, he had his pool done, and the tiles were falling off. This is less than a year later. And the decking was complete, but it was finished in black.
Unbelievable.
You can't walk on it.
Wow.
You will get burns that you'll need to go to the hospital.
And I had asked you, why would somebody do that? And your answer was?
Inexperience.
Inexperience. This is the thing. And on top of everything is that when you work with Perfect Pools of Arizona, you are now getting quality. This is what makes them different. Yes, he's saying it right out to you. You are gonna pay more money, right? But you're
Right.
gonna wanna pay more money. We wanna talk about, I mean, you even mentioned that when you work with a client and you put in was it travertine
Travertine.
that you said? Travertine, and you said that there's different,
There's different quality.
Okay.
This is especially an area where a customer can get fooled. They see the travertine and they think it's great, and it pretty much all looks the same. Some of them are more porous, but there's a travertine coming out of South America that's thin as can possibly be. I mean, we put in large slabs, they're solid. When I come across a pool or a pool deck that's been done in an inexpensive way, shall we say, I'll demonstrate to the client by rolling a stone across of it, and you can hear the echo, you can hear the hollowness, but the customer just doesn't know. They have to be aware of that, and if they're dealing with someone that's coming in, let's say at a lower bid, there's a reason. What are you getting for that lower bid? Are you getting quality product? Even the interiors vary. There's some products that they all look great when they're in, but in a year or so, there's variations in color and shade.
and if you want it to look beautiful forever, not
You
forever,
don't-
almost.
Almost.
Yeah.
Depends what you categorize as forever. No, but,
Right.
you know, there's better quality
But let's talk
products.
about some of the different things that you do when you use, just to build the pool.
Well, when the first thing we do is, our company is multifaceted. So we not only build new pools and remodel, but we're out there doing repairs and service. So we know how these pools function. We're not sitting in a cubicle. So if a customer has their wish list and the desire, as we're designing the pool, we explain why we're doing it a certain way, and if they did it a different way, why there would be dead zones, shall we say, for flow. We'll make suggestions along the way that they're not aware of, and they shouldn't be, because that's not their field.
Mm-hmm.
So we explain what works, what doesn't, what makes it better, and we can always change that to maintain the budget that they're expecting to be in.
Well, the
There's-
main thing is, and if they're not in that budget, they might wanna go over a little bit because it may behoove them. And I think that's where you come in to talk to them, not to oversell them.
Never.
Never, and that's
It
not
won't
you
work
at all.
out.
Right, and you obviously, when it's word of mouth, there's nothing like when somebody comes, not only is it gonna look beautiful, it's gonna last so much longer. What could happen, let's say, when somebody's using a travertine that is really thin?
Oh, it'll crack.
It'll crack, see, and so now you're gonna be spending more money than you have to.
Exactly.
Right, okay.
Exactly.
Now, so your products, we've talked a little bit about that. We wanna talk about you and how you come in and how you work with your clients,
It's side by side.
okay?
The first meeting, of course, it's like you're evaluating me, but at the same time, I'm evaluating you, because
Okay.
we're gonna be working together for several months.
Mhm.
And we need to, be able to do that in a professional manner. So I sit down, I ask for a wish list, and they give me the list, and we discuss it, and if everything is, within the realm, I'll design the pool. And we can change the design 2-3 dozen times if need be. My idea is of course going to be slightly different than theirs. So to tweak the design doesn't matter. I can do it, we don't charge extra for it until they're happy. Then we can provide them with a bid.
Well, they are valley-wide, they're licensed, bonded, and insured. You do wanna make sure that you do, when you're getting a bid, please get more than 1, 2, 3 at the
Yes.
most, but for sure, do get those bids, because you wanna make sure that you're getting the right deal, because if you pay too low, just because it's low doesn't mean that that's a good deal to do,
Correct.
right? And again, their phone number is 480-588-2200. It's Perfect Pool Builders with an S.com. Obviously, they do these free consultations. They do pool and cool deck as well, the remodeling. They do conversions, depth conversions, and also these Baja decks, and I'm sure much more as well, especially if you want to swim with the fish, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's add, for you, is it really expensive to remodel a pool?
It depends on the size. It's all based on square footage. It's
Okay.
all based on square footage. So when a customer will call me out, I meet with them, I ask them what their expectations are.
Okay.
And once those are understood and I know where to proceed, I simply take the measurements that I need and do the calculations and come up with a price. There's no magic to it, and it's pretty straightforward.
So we are, like, let's see, a month and so, or 2 months away from the holidays. We've got
Right.
people that are coming in, especially, you know that when you have your family here, all they want to do is jump in the pool from other places. And you want it to look nice. And can you tell everybody how long it takes?
On average, 2 weeks. As
And-
long as there's no structural defects, 2 weeks.
Right, now, and I do want people to understand, this is not the company that you call just to patch something up. I just
Yeah,
want
we
you to
don't
say-
patch.
Right,
Because it looks like a patch.
right.
So, and it's taking advantage of the customer as well, because if one area has failed, there'll be another area that's coming up in 6 months or a year.
Well, what are your final words for everybody for today?
Basically, just, enjoy the holidays,
Uh-huh.
be safe, enjoy the family, and,
Get in
when
your
the-
pool.
get your pool redone,
Yeah.
but watch the kids.
Yeah, you
Biggest
know-
thing is the safety fences.
Right, oh, that is another thing as well. Main thing too is to, obviously, we have our homes here that have a backyard that they're a part of our insides, right?
Right.
I mean, we're in them all the time, we're outside, and you wanna be able to enjoy them. If you're gonna do it right, because it just makes sense. You know, spending a little bit more money, that pool is gonna last a lot longer. One of the things that you've also mentioned before, talking about some of the different things, if somebody was asking you about the equipment, you tell them if it's working, don't
Right.
fix it, you
Exactly.
don't need to. So he's very honest, he's all about that, he's all about giving you the best quality that he can give you and the pool of your dream. Don't forget that he can do conversions, he can do depth conversions, Baja decks, and cool decking as well. Again, it's 480-588-2200, Perfect Pool Builders with an S.com.